Welcome back to our Python tutorial series. In this video, we are diving into file handling in Python, a powerful skill for managing data in your projects. By the end of this video, you will know how to open, read and write files, work with different file modes, handle errors gracefully, use context managers for efficient file operation. Let's get started. File handling is a way to store and retrieve data from files on your computer. It allows you to read from and write to files, making data persistence possible. Basic file operations: open a file, read or write to the file, close the file. In Python, the open function is used to open files and it returns a file object. Let's start with the basics of opening and closing a file. So I have created one sample.txt file on my desktop. So we'll use that file in this example. File equal to, we'll use the open function to open a file, and here we have to mention the file name. In our case, it's sample.txt, and we also need to specify the mode. Here I will specify read mode. There are some other mode like write mode, and we have to specify W, A for append, B for binary mode for non-text files like images. Here we will open it in R mode. Now we'll store the content in one variable and we'll say file.read. So read function will read the file and store it in the content variable. Now let's print content. After printing content, we need to close the file. To close the file, we use file.close. Always remember to close the file after use to avoid data loss or memory issues. So let's run the program to see the output. As you can see, the output is, this is a simple file to read content in Python program. Python is fine. So this is the content of that sample.txt file. Now Python has a cleaner way to handle files using with statements which automatically close the file. So here we have to specify with open, and as we have to mention as file colon. So here we don't need to specify the file.close, and let's run the program. As you can see, we got the same output. No need to explicitly close the file. Context managers are recommended for better resource management. So Python offers several methods to read files. Let's explore them. So we have already seen one, file.read. Now we also have one more function called readLine. So we can mention readLine. What it does is reads one line at a time. Let's run the program. As you can see, we got only one line. If you want to read all the lines, we have to mention read lines. So let's run the program again. As you can see, we got, this is a sample file to read content in Python program, and Python is fun. We got different lines in a list format. So use .read for small files and .read lines for processing line by line. Now let's see how to write to a file. Be careful when using a W mode as it overwrites the entire file. So we'll use the same sample.txt, but instead of R, we'll write W mode, that is write mode. We can write file.write. So write is a function which we can write anything into the file. So here we write hello Python. We'll write /n for printing it in next line, and we'll add one more line and we can say Python file handling is fun. Now let's run the program. Now we have run the program and we will see the file content. So after we run the program, sample.txt has this hello.python. Python file handling is fun. We can also append any content to file. So to append, we already have opened the sample.txt. We have to open it in append mode as file, and now we can write file.write /n adding new content. So this will append at the end of the file. So we'll run the program. So we have ran the program. As you can see, we have added the new content last of the file. So use W to start fresh and A to add more content. What if the file doesn't exist or there's an error while reading? Let's handle that gracefully. So to do that, we can use try except blocks. Make sure to make our code reliable. So before writing with, we can write try : and here we have opened the file sample.txt. We'll open this in read mode as file. Here we'll write content equal to file.read. If this file doesn't exist, then what we should do? So here we have the except keyword, and we have to mention, let's say, file not found error. Inside that we can just show the message print error file not found. If there are any other issues which we can't know, then we can simply write it in exception as E, and we can just write print unknown error. We can also pass the system default values. Print the content of the file. Now let's save the program, run the program. So here we have got hello Python and the content of the file. Let's add sample1.txt. Now let's run the program again. As you can see, it says error file not found. If we have not added this, let's say we have not added this, and if we run the program, it says unknown error, which we have defined it here. So using try except blocks makes our code more reliable. Let's build a mini project where we collect user input and store it in a file. We'll define one function, def save user data, and inside this we'll open the existing file, that is sample.txt, in the append mode as file, and here we'll mention name equal to input, enter your name, age equal to input your age, and we'll write these content into file. So file dot write, will format this using the F, and we'll say name colon name comma age colon age, and we'll show the message data saved successfully. We'll call this function save user data. Now let's run the program. So it is asking enter your name. I will mention Ullas. It's asking for the age. We'll mention 25, and it says data saved successfully. Let's open the file and see whether the data is stored. As you can see, the name and age is stored in the sample.txt file. Awesome! You have just learned the essential of file handling in Python. With these skills, you can work with data more effectively. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Python tutorials. See you in the next video, and happy coding!